Hey, it says we're live.
Hey.
We are indeed live. Well, good morning. It's Jeff, Goblet Scummer. Welcome to my channel. It's going to be an interesting one today. I've got on a couple of guests. Not actually been on my channel before, but most of you who watch me will know these guys already. First of all, I want to welcome Mama Atheist to the channel and congratulate her on getting 100 subs the other day. Congratulations!
Woo! Well done. That's actually the hardest.
And
hardest milestone actually is the 100 subs, and you got it pretty damn quickly. Well done, you.
A week and a day, a little less than a week and a day. Yeah.
It took me a good month or so to get to 100 subs or something like that. So well done.
Thank you. I had lots of support behind me, so that helped a lot.
Okay. I was introduced Critical Cripple Dave. He's just joined us in the constant call. So good morning to you, good sir.
Good morning.
How you keeping? Oh, and I think someone else has just joined the stream as well. So we're gonna have up to 5. Mira, do you know this guy?
Maybe.
She's far more when he joined them.
Never met that lady with the weird red jacket.
Yeah, I know. It's allegedly you guys live on some island that's allegedly resides off the west coast of New Zealand, but
yeah,
we don't.
It's an imaginary island, though.
Well, we don't. Well, I'd ask you because you're the conspiracy theorist, Nervardia. You know,
I am.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. All right, we'll get to that. So, morning, Nacho. I believe you got some interesting takes on this as well. So,
I do, but I do have to still yet be a bit cautious about what I say.
Yeah, I understand.
Because I'm trying to narrow down exactly what we have and what we don't.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And how to put it all.
And finally, I best introduce the person who's going to be somewhat in the hot seat a bit today in this one. Nervardia, welcome to the channel.
Welcome, thank you.
Yeah.
The
reason we're gathered here today is Nervardia. As well, let's have a little backtrack. Some of you know I've been covering this story with Dave. What happened with that on David Worley's channel with that guy Lance Gregorchuk. I'm not going to and that Anti-Theist International Conference. I'm not going to go too much over the history of that because I've done videos on that in the past, and if people want to watch the interview I did with Dave to get up to speed with that. But one of the organisers, John Richards, now he'd appeared on Shannon Q's channel and gave an interview where, let's just say, he didn't exactly give a very good account of himself, but he just when you think he couldn't do any further damage to his reputation, he accepted an invitation from Nervardia to go on to your channel, and well, yeah, let's just say I don't know the words to describe it really. It was just
was glorious.
Yeah, it was it was it was let's just say to say he didn't come across well would be an understatement. And the reason we're gathered here today is we're going to kind of try and go over some of the highlights of that interview and give it a bit of a breakdown of what happened here. So, shall I get it up on screen? If I can. There we go. So let me just sort this out on YouTube a bit better. That should look better on screen now. You did send me some notes, Nervardia. So you want me to go to your first timestamp, which is 13 minutes 16?
Yeah, they're going to be a few seconds off because I just did it quite roughly because I only did it this afternoon. It took me about 3 hours to get through an hour and 45-minute interview, and remembering that the first 12 minutes is just to ignore that. So, yeah, it took me a while, but yeah.
I appreciate this actually, because you saved me a lot of work actually, because I sort of sat there this morning going back over that interview and trying to like, where I want to pick out timestamps and that, and then you sent me that document, that those notes you said that's probably saved you a lot of trouble actually.
The first thing I want to say is, before we get onto the interview, let's remind ourselves that it was about 10 o'clock at night, and he said it was after when he normally goes to bed, which is, everyone gets a bit cranky when you're not sleeping. Anyway, Critical Cripple and quite a few people who are long-time streamers have told me that to start a stream, even though you start on the minute, you might have a minute to a minute and a half opening scene, just to allow extra stragglers to go, oh, and come on. It's like a normal thing to do. Anyway, I did that, and I was spewing when I found out that my audio for him wasn't working, because oh my freaking goodness, and I'm trying hard not to demonetize you, even though you might not. I don't think you're monetized, are you?
No, if I even get to the level where I get monetized, the amount of cussing I do on this,
fair enough.
There's no way.
So when I was spewing, because what he was doing in the background in the green room was going. Yeah. And Critical, you were there in the green room the entire time.
I know, and he was snoring, and it was horrible. And this was after you've asked him to be quiet.
Yeah. So
I suppose obviously we're saying, so it was late at night for him, so I suppose we're trying to be I suppose I'm going to try and be as charitable to the guys as I possibly can be throughout this, but
I think you can be charitable, assuming the fact that he was awake 2-3 hours later arguing on Twitter.
Yeah. Oh, he was not going to have a good night's sleep that night.
No, that's been a real fallout from that, hasn't it? I don't think he doesn't. He clearly just does not see the issues at all. He just doesn't seem to get it.
Yeah, so that was the first thing that he did just when we went live was sarcastically snoring on the stream. And when I found out that my audio for him wasn't working, I was spewing. Yeah. So anyway, going by my timestamps, do you want to talk about that, or
You want to pick some out for us, I think we'll go to the first one. I'll go to the first one if you like.
All right. So, seriously, I have 5 pages of written.
Yeah. We're going to have to pick out highlights of this, really.
Yeah, we've got to. Okay. So, I'm going to mention something because it does come back much later in the much later in the conversation. But he actually mentions he spent the best part of a year organizing the event. So remember that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to that one and play that in a sec. So.
Yeah. And then about 2 minutes later, just under 2 minutes later, he forgot his organization's name.
Oh, I love it. Well, I'll go to, where is it? I'll just be a few seconds before your timestamp, but we'll go here.
I spent the best part of a year organising this event, and it's ready to go now. And you're right. Annoying is probably not doing it justice for how I feel at this moment. It's the last thing we wanted to do. But, we are evidence-led. And
that's about as far as it goes. So yeah,
indicates that we should postpone. So that's what we're doing. And we have a date, which is the weekend of October, the 24th and 25th.
Just say, guys, shout out if you want
The venue is the same.
yeah. You're done. You're done.
Speakers are the same. Everything else is.
All right.
Yeah. So at 15:37, maybe go a little bit before that.
Okay. I'll just mention what he's saying there because that he's obviously mentioning this event's been postponed because of the coronavirus. And just so anyone who hasn't heard yet, David Worley has also had to postpone his event due to the same reason. Just keep an eye on anyone who's going to DaveCon. Hasn't heard yet. Just keep an eye on that because Dave apparently the tickets will be honoured whenever he can hold this event. So just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah.
So
and thank you, Dave, for shilling DaveCon as well during the stream.
I can't believe he wasn't watching the chat.
No, he wasn't watching the chat at all. That's why I was able to snag him a couple of times during the thing because I was kind of like looking at the chat, not very well, but
there's definitely something I want to say about DaveCon that's going to come up much later on in this interview because it's right near the end, I believe.
Yeah.
So where is
15:37 ish.
Okay. About 10 seconds before that. But
Atheist, what's it called? And Anti-Theist International. That's the Facebook group. And you can see the video of the winner of the competition being presented with his award, which is a giant check for $600.
Yeah. So that's it. That was
the remaining awards are trophies for 8 different achievements in the field of atheism. Because
do you want me to? I need to turn up my
To be honest, what I need to do is maybe very carefully watch your lips when I'm watching the video, Nervardia, so I know when you're talking to me and when you're talking on the stream here. So
do you want me to just put my thumbs up and say you're good?
Yeah, I just kind of have to flip screens.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
We'll try and work this out. As I said, I'm a bit of a Luddite, so anyway, yeah. So we were. Oh, okay. Yes, sorry, Jen in the chat. Yeah, I will do.
Yeah. Okay, so you just heard just then. He was like, "Oh, what's the name of?" And I was like, did you just forget the name of something that you've been organizing for the past year? I mean, I understand that, you can forget things. Yeah. So, and, you even forget your own name every once in a while. So I'm kind of going to give him, again, the benefit of the doubt that he was being, just a bit stressed out from being on the interview. But yeah, that was something that I thought was an interesting thing.
Did anyone else think he came across as a bit drunk?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so too.
And that came up in the stream, in the side chat as well. It came up that he might have been a bit drunk.
He seemed really belligerent.
A little.
So.
Yeah. Right. So before we go any further, hey, new channel. Who this? Hey, Jen.
Hi.
Hey.
Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Jen. How you going?
Hey, all.
Okay. So yeah, sorry to interrupt. Where do you want to go next with this, Mara? So,
well, and just because this is actually a thing that's going to happen and going to become important in the future. At 1650, he says that is probably going to Stephen Fry. Stop it there, because, yeah.
Oh, so this is the point where you're talking about with the Stephen Fry stuff on Twitter lately.
No.
And that is going probably to Stephen Fry.
I would agree with you on that one.
I don't think many people would disagree with that. The next one is...
Stop.
Here we go.
Yeah. So keep this in mind, because he starts accusing me of something later on in the thing. So that was a bit of a thing to understand. So I know we're only going through, it seems really boring, but this is actually the foundation of things coming up later. He also talks, I won't get you to read it out, show it out, but he does also talk about there's a panel of judges, which is another thing that you have to remember for a bit later.
Can I ask a question then, Mara? He's saying that it's probably going to Stephen Fry, but there's a panel of judges, so he's guessing what the panel of judges is deciding it's going to before it's been decided. So basically there isn't a panel of judges.
Well, what I think what he's doing is like giving the benefit, like giving, but I said probably, but it's going to go to Stephen Fry.
Yeah.
The way he said it was just like, it's going to probably go. Like there is no way that's not going to Stephen Fry.
Yeah, that's already been decided, hasn't it?
It's been decided before we even got the judges, because they've been pre-informed of who's going to win it.
I would not be surprised if that.
I mean, not that I got a problem with Stephen Fry winning something. It's just that it's like, what? That's not how this is supposed to. It's not like how any of this sort of thing's supposed to work.
Which this comes up later in the video as well. About something.
It goes to show that their whole thing is basically a big circle jerk.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But at 1742, I read out Atheist Edge's comment.
Okay. Let's
So this might be like 5 seconds or something.
I was officially notified that I've been nominated. So what do you think might have actually happened there?
Right, so that's if I'm remembering right now, Atheist Edge were up for an award about this, and they no one at Atheist Edge, not Jim, TJ, Courtney, knew anything about this.
Yeah, none of them.
Yeah.
Jim was like, I wish I had known. And then I think,
Sorry.
I had to disable Dave's script because I couldn't watch the video.
I don't know how to do that, but that's all right. I'm just going to assume I know what I'm doing. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what he said after that was really interesting, because he's like, I had no way of contacting them. And so that was a bit like, hang on. Like, I talk to them quite often on Twitter. And like, they're pretty easy to get onto. You just at them. And so at 1907, just pop over to 1907.
1907. Okay. A few seconds before
has been nominated. There are votes for him for Atheist Podcaster of 2020.
Yeah. So just letting you know, I only really know Atheist Edge through their name. That's quite common on the online community, where most people know each other from their channel name, not their actual real name. You'd be surprised how many people don't know my name. So yes, I do believe that is general, but I do interact with them a lot, but only as Atheist Edge. So.
Exactly. You have illustrated my problem. How can I inform him that he's been nominated if I have no channel to him?
You just comment on their channel.
Well,
okay, that paused. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, no, you keep going if you want to. It's
No,
still
fine.
keep going.
He digs the deeper hole.
Oh, sorry, I meant that one.
Okay. I'll keep going for a little longer. Just
that would just be a public comment, wouldn't it? I would like to be able to inform him personally.
Then you would probably, this is what I would do. I would probably just go, hi, I just thought you'd like to know you've been nominated. Please contact me through Twitter or through my email or something like that, and put your Twitter handle on the comment. That's what I would do. Or I would probably go into the channel about section. Often they put email addresses there as well. So, often.
Well, I spent some time searching because I wanted a picture of Jim Hall to put on my website, and I failed. So I'm guilty of failure. But
that's all right. I mean, everybody has their learning curve.
Okay.
I decided to look up Jim Hall, and I found his channel in 2 Google searches.
He's not hard to get hold of.
And then the other question is if he couldn't find or contact Jim Hall, then how did he get Stephen Fry?
Exactly.
Or Richard Dawkins.
Dawkins, yeah.
How?
Yeah.
Whinging?
Stephen's a lot harder to get hold of because he doesn't respond to his Twitters. You actually have to email him.
Have you tried getting onto Stephen Fry?
I know somebody who has. That's I haven't. I haven't tried that. I am not game enough to do that one.
Have you actually? Did they end up getting in contact with him?
Yep.
Can you maybe potentially ask them to get him to watch this video? These videos?
Somebody tweeted him already about it.
Yeah, he's already tweeted out. He does actually check his tweets from time to time, but he doesn't respond. So, it's one of those things. If he's been tweeted out, he will check them, but he doesn't usually respond to people. So
yeah. So if you can get that person that you were able to get onto, that was able to get onto Stephen Fry, could you please try and get them to contact him?
I can try. It's not somebody I know really well. That's the only thing. It's somebody I know, as in I know. That's about it.
You're more of an acquaintance than anything.
An acquaintance than somebody I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. So also, I've got a couple of notes on the side chat. Callan commented, does this guy know how the internet works? And that's a particularly good question. Okay. All right. So this is when I start getting a little bit more claws out at 22:59.
Okay. Let's get to there. Oop, not quite. About there.
Still financially involved in.
Might need to go back.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, let's go back. About there.
Questions.
Yeah.
So, one of the big ones that keep coming up is something that you kind of touched on with Shannon, which is Lance still financially involved in the in your thing?
I have more than one sponsor, but I'm not at liberty to reveal their identity.
Well, fair enough. I would understand. But from my, from rewatching Dave's interview with Lance, he was really proud about giving out all of his information about how the fact he is financially supporting this particular thing. So I personally believe that he wouldn't mind if you told everyone if he's still still financially supporting this this convention.
I am not at liberty to reveal that information.
Okay, all right.
Well, that's a yes.
We are a suspicious group of people, so.
Okay.
Well, the question wouldn't necessarily be that, he's at liberty or not to say who is funding it. It is who isn't. You can say the Queen isn't funding. That doesn't break any fucking anything. Like, if the guy isn't funding it, it's easy to say.
Yeah.
The thing, yeah, I mean, I was thinking he could always say, I can't say who's backing me, but I can say it's not Lance if it's not Lance. You know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
The only reason for sidestepping the question is that Lance is still involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I tried telling him that. I was like, you do realize that we are a suspicious lot, because I remember he said that in Shannon's video. We are a suspicious lot, and we're probably going to assume that he's still doing, I can't help what people think. It's like, no, you can't. But you can kind of say yes or no. I was trying to be really nice. Like,
No, by the way, Mara, you mispronounced cunt.
The problem is, he can't control what they think, but he should care what they think. It's his job to make the conference sell. It's the same problem with the legal issue.
Oh, and does he want it to sell?
Oh, yeah.
Right, I'll get to that. You'll get to that.
Right. Atheist Pastor's just put something up interesting here. Lance is backing it. The organisation is registered in Germany, which is where Lance is based. I mean, I think.
How did you find it?
Do you want to get Chris in here to explain that?
I've got a phone at the moment, Jen. So.
Yeah, but you can rotate people out.
Yeah, kick me out.
Yeah, you can rotate me or Rave or whatever out, one of us out, and just leave Mero and Notcher in here. Just rotate us around and grab Chris in to explain that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we do that on Friday night all the time. So, and this is worth hearing if Chris is prepared to jump on now and explain that.
We need to hear
it. Okay.
That's really important information. Oh, thank you, Ilya Moon. Trust me, it was.
Hey, Ilya.
So I'm going to just say I'm not going to be able to watch the chat too much. So if anyone says hello, I'm saying hello back.
By the way, Ilya, you might have to tweet me again the time that you need me, because I've absolutely forgotten and I need to set an alarm so I actually am awake for the show.
Yeah. So, but that was really interesting, because that's what I said on Twitter, and that's what everyone's been saying. You can say where someone's not doing something. It's like I said, I'm not doxing Ocean if he lives at 123 Streetville or 456 Avenueville. Like, that's not doxing someone.
Like, can you do that for another 2 billion properties?
No.
Right, Atheist Pastor should be coming in a couple of minutes or so. So,
yep. So drop one of us down who's less important, and just rotate people.
Okay. Who do we drop first? Who wants to volunteer to drop first? Dave.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Down there. So we'll just give Chris a minute or two to come in, but
you might as well leave Dave in until Chris gets here.
Okay, right. So back in, Dave. Yeah, I was told you I'm not very good at this stuff. Do you want to just go the next bit there?
Let's keep going. We'll keep going. Okay. So I don't know if you understand my note-taking thing, because he repeated himself 500,000 times.
Yeah.
I ended up numbering what he said and then putting like the timestamp. So I don't know. I don't think people in the audience can see this, but yeah. So for example, my time, my code number 1, it starts talking about not barring someone from the convention if they haven't been caught having sexual misdemeanors, and so. At 25:16, I asked the question, is Lance barred from the convention? And if not, why not?
Okay.
Have been asked before. Is Lance barred from the convention? And if not, why not?
Nobody who doesn't have a conviction for sexual misdemeanor needs to be barred from a public convention.
Yeah, but one of the things that has been brought up, and this is a point that was made to me, is that, you know, you've got this situation with Lance. That you saw. I mean, I imagine you saw the clip that he did in regards to David Worley, and your personal and your much updated and quite good. I read it the other day. New policy. He kind of just basically broke the policy. He threatened to sexually harass David Worley, which is obviously not a good thing. So if he shows up and if he's invited to the event, then, you know, wouldn't that mean that you don't actually take your safeguarding policy seriously? This was just something that someone pointed out to me, and it was a question that I thought would make a good point.
Drink?
Yeah, a safeguarding policy.
Okay.
I want to say about that is that obviously his primary excuse would be they didn't have a policy at the time that Lance had his interview. So he couldn't break the policy that didn't exist.
And that was kind of one of his excuses a bit later on, but not sure. I think you've got something interesting to say, possibly. I don't know how much you're willing to say without saying stuff.
Yeah, well, that's the problem at the moment. It's a bit tricky. I've got to work on exactly what I've got. So
I'm going to drop
it is a bit tricky
in a sec, okay?
One thing I can say is that pretty much the entire time he come across as a complete arse.
Really?
Yeah.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Hey, dude.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, everyone. Really quickly, Mero, what are you wearing?
I'm wearing my
How dare you
Australian
ask?
jacket.
That's her devil costume. Haven't you seen the
awesome.
Who Is Notcha video? Come on, Chris. Everyone should have seen that by now.
Yeah.
Many times. I was trying to work out where I recognised it from. That's why. So
Yeah, see, it's a devil costume. You so should have worn that when you interviewed him.
Nah, I wanted to be as professional as possible. I think I did well. I think I prefer.
Although I love how your face is paused.
Yeah.
Hang on.
That look of you fucking lying bastard. That's exactly the look on your face there, Mary.
Yeah.
Right. So
it is actually true.
It is. I'm going to screen capture that. Because that is definitely Mero's you fucking lying bastard face.
So, Chris, you say you had some information on that? Like Lance might still be involved in this, or?
well, the digging into the back end of the website, I'm just going to. I'll share the screen in a second. Hang on. Okay, so I'm going to share a screen with you all.
Okay.
This is actually from the website itself.
Okay.
So this is, if you go right down the bottom, the About section. Now, it automatically comes up in German, which Google then wanted to translate to English, but I'll leave it in the actual German for the moment, because you can see Anti-Theist International UGIG with a German address, a +49 phone number, which is actually the phone code, I believe, for Germany.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
So now Lance Gregorchuk is, if you dig through his Facebook, he actually lives in Germany. So coincidence? I don't know.
No, I doubt it was. Lance would have been involved in registering it all in the first place.
Yeah. John's name's been put on everything, so Lance has been taken out. But this is early stage back end. So what I would say is the website itself has actually been built in Germany, done in German, and then translated across, and then anglicised, for lack of a better term.
That's why the policy took so long to write. They wrote it in German first.
Look, realistically, there probably was no policy.
We'll get onto that, I'm sure, later on.
Yeah.
Vagrant Sam does make a good point, though. He goes, it wouldn't make correlation assertions in this case if there's no signature on the documents to Lance, which it makes a good point. But
Plus 49 is Germany's international code. Cheers, Hopswatch.
Thanks, Hopswatch.
It is certainly suspicious.
The phone number's there. We could always call it.
Oh, I'd so dare you.
Go on.
And if Lance answers, you should ask Lance if he'll do an interview.
Oh, that would connect him too. Even if he answered.
Yes, Ants, how much longer is this stream going? Probably 4 hours. It's lots.
We are going to have to try and go through the highlights.
Critical Cripple's screaming he wants to jump in here too, by the way.
Okay. I'll just...
drop me. I'm editing something at the moment. Drop me.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, Dave.
Hello. 2 seconds. Sharing my screen.
You all right there, Dave?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Share that. Jeff?
Yo.
Take my shared screen.
I'm trying to see where is... there it is. Got it?
Yeah.
Got it.
That phone number is Lance's.
Really?
2173-101-7700. That is the same phone number.
Are we doxing him?
It's publicly available information online.
That's public information. Put that. That hardly constitutes doxing. Well, we probably shouldn't have said the number, but
yeah, please don't ring him.
It's out there. It's out there. I mean,
it's quite literally on their about website.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the well. I was pulling it straight from the. You can click the link and get to what I had on the Anti-Theist Convention website.
Okay, so
that's clear evidence that he is still directly involved.
So can we say John and Lance are busted right now? I think we just busted them live on here.
I wouldn't say so because Lance still has his Facebook with the Anti-Theist International logo on the top, but the last time he's played with it was in November. So it's probably, let's err on the side of caution and call it late.
That's the problem.
With that Facebook, I see a lot of people, especially people of Lance's generation, who will do that. They haven't used Facebook for years. All of a sudden, they're doing something, so they jump on Facebook consistently for a few months and overpost, and then just drop off. It's a fairly common thing, and they don't change anything. I've had people who have worked for me, and sort of years later, I've had to sort of say, "Hey, you've still got information saying that you work for us. Can you take that off your Facebook page?" So
I think we should just look at it as probably maybe a smoking gun, but not confirmation. Personally,
circumstantial evidence based, really. I suppose.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look good for them at all.
No.
Unless John coincidentally got the same phone number as Lance in Germany. The one way would be to ring the phone number and ask for Lance.
Mm.
But I don't think that proves that doesn't. I think we've proved that it's Lance's phone number.
Yeah.
What I don't think we've proved is that it's still. I think they might just not have updated that phone number on the website.
Yeah,
but they've changed it from Lance's name to John's name.
That's true.
That's interesting.
John's name.
Interesting.
Wow. All right. That's good hunting, Chris.
Well,
Well done.
wouldn't you call that number and then ask for John and see what happens? Because you'd call it under the assumption that John would answer, but it would be somebody called Lance, I'm guessing.
Yeah, possibly.
Sam says that I think it only proves that he was involved at some point. So.
Yeah, I'm erring on that, but that's an interesting development. Don't know how we're going to go with that.
Well, realistically, I think if you look at it, what Dave put up, that was for a martial arts school or something completely separate. So it looks as though that's a phone number and that Lance is using, and it wouldn't make sense if you're running a conference to go and buy another phone specifically for that. You would use the same phone number. Then if it's something you've been previously using for business, you wouldn't then give that phone and the German phone number to someone who lives in the UK. That wouldn't make sense.
No, there's something.
Yeah, but a lot of the things that they do don't make sense as well. Come on.
Okay, that is a very valid point.
You saw the schmozzle when I was asking him about the policy and the timeline of the policy.
Look, they've got two problems. There was they either had a policy beforehand, in which case he lied, which is what I suspect, or what happened is they were beginning to organise an event and publicise an event before they'd gotten the proper insurances. Because I can tell you, without an anti-harassment policy and all your policies in place, no company in the world will insure your event. They want all the information. You've got to have all that information there ready for them, especially if it's a new event and it's a public event. Otherwise, they won't insure you.
Yeah.
So, sorry, or the third option is they have just completely muppeted the whole thing up, in which case they shouldn't be organising anything. But I suspect it's probably the first. I suspect they probably had something in place. I suspect that Lance has probably breached that. But then...
I would say yes.
Incidentally, what was he fired from?
Exactly. That's what
was
we're trying to figure out.
Well, this is it. I don't think he was. That's what I was trying to say earlier. I don't think he was ever an employee. They keep saying that he doesn't work for them. I don't think he ever worked for them.
No, he's a partner. He was a financial investor who was partnered with them. And look, from this is, I guess, where some of the legal stuff comes back to, because from a legal point of view, if John wanted to dump Lance, he would probably find himself in legal hot water. But yeah, that's probably where the grey area potentially is, but it doesn't excuse the way that John in particular has acted.
Yeah, well, no, nothing excuses that. Absolutely nothing. If he wanted to be, yeah, but if he wanted to be in a like professional, then he would never have ever acted like that at all. Yeah, so that was an
petulant child through that interview.
Oh, was he ever? Oh my God!
I don't think he cared anymore. I think he got to the point where he's like, well, you're nobody, and I'm so great, and I can just act however I want, treat you however I want.
I think despite what you made a really good point in the chat, despite what he likes to say, he is a misogynist.
Of course he is. Yeah. Maybe not so much a misogynist, but just an arrogant prick. He is just an arrogant prick.
Chris, honestly, I think had Mero not been a woman, he wouldn't have spoken to her like that. It was very clear that...
I reckon his attitude...
he doesn't. No.
Wait, Chris, can you interview him?
Yeah, happily.
I think you should. And I think he will treat you differently.
Absolutely, he will.
And you know what? If he did, I would call him straight out on it. Absolutely. I think he'd be a condescending prick as soon as he's backed into a corner.
I don't know if he'll want to do any more interviews after
after I annihilate it. But Roger just said really.
He will.
Yeah. He wants to publicize it. But he's going to be paranoid that everywhere he goes, he's going to get jumped on.
I mean, you
don't know. Yeah, dude. Yes, those almost words exactly came out of his mouth, but typed because it's on Twitter. Yeah, he's in it for the money. He said that to me.
Of course he is.
He's just in it. The controversy is there just to sell the tickets. I've literally got that in writing.
bear in mind
kind of
that
backfire,
Lance was the PR guy before, obviously, Lance was supposedly doing the PR for this thing before we went on Dave's channel. So.
Yeah, you know what? Who in their right mind would have Lance as their PR guy? I mean,
well, we've seen the person. We've seen that person.
That's a fair call. Who would? John would. That's who.
Mm-hmm.
They probably sat around talking about how they touched everyone up back in the
day. Bring us back to where we were going with this, and obviously, we're gonna have to sort of like really go for it, some real choice highlights of this. And I know there's so much, we're not going to get it all in.
Oh, okay.
We've got the
jump. There's so many good things. There's so many.
I know.
I am very, very tempted to just tweet the link to this breakdown I've got, because what I'll do, I'll just read it and then I'll talk about the ones that I think we should probably jump to. Okay, well, he said, listen to me. He was like, listen, which a lot of people in the comments were shocked at how he spoke to me. I said, wouldn't it be mean at least threatening to inappropriately touch David Worley would be at the very least violating that policy? And then he goes on about how he's not him. He says that I'm at 28:15. Jump to 28:15 because it goes on for the next minute. For at least another minute, just play that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know what's coming up here.
I have instigated the best possible safety procedures.
Mm-hmm. But if you're not going to enforce it, then what's the point of having them there?
I am going to enforce it. Mm-hmm. What are you implying? Are you implying I'm opening the door to paedophiles? That's very rude of you.
No, I'm not implying that, because we're not talking about pedophilia. We're talking about sexual assault of women. And
notice how he says, I am going to enforce it. Like, I'm not yet, but I will be, almost.
Right. I'll just drop you for a few seconds and bring Jen back in, okay?
Go for it.
No. I am so sorry. I was trying to say something then, and I just didn't even realize you guys couldn't hear me.
I just saw you waving your hands about Jennifer. Oh, Jen wants to say
no, I was just saying, where did he get to paedophile from all of that? Because I missed that in the original, because I was half asleep whilst I was watching it. Mara, I apologize. Lack of sleep the last few nights, so
fair enough. But first of all, I just want to bring up that's very rude of you.
Yeah. But I mean, he was
my channel, dude.
I mean, he pretty much went to condescending within the first 5 minutes of your interview.
Yeah.
He was patting you on the head, and you were the little girl he was trying to tell what she had to be when she grew up.
Yeah, he was condescending me before he even entered my fucking channel.
Oh, he wasn't he? Because he did the fake sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so wish you had video footage of that. I
am so pissed that I didn't. Oh my god, because I knew if that was on StreamYards and it had actually picked up the audio, all of my audience would have heard that. And when I found out he wasn't, I was just spewing.
Anytime any of us interview anyone controversial and we're using OBS, we should, when we're setting up with them, start OBS recording and then disable the recording and start the transmitting when you're ready to go live. That way you've got the pre-thing recorded. And if they do something stupid, you can use it.
Make sure that someone's in the background.
Yeah. That's why I'm so glad that you stayed in, Dave. Thank you so much. Anyway, I just love the way he spoke to me. Just said, "That's very rude of you." Oh, what am I cheating? Like, fuck off.
Yeah,
it is an advantage of actually having somebody produce things like that and not doing it yourself, because then you've got them actually managing it and they can do screen captures at the same time and you can just worry about the interview, which in a sense might have been a lot easier for you, Mary.
I won't play the bit, but it's something he said about 30 seconds after this as well. Where after let's bring on, he brought the whole thing, that word, that the P word into the conversation there, paedophile, which he brought that in.
Unprovoked.
Totally. And then I think you asked him a question like, as long so you including like, because this was about safety of women and so on. And he said, are you including women as children there? And he's like, he says you're making ludicrous accusations against him. I said, well, no, you brought that into the conversation. It wasn't Nervardia didn't bring it in. John, you brought it in.
Yeah, and a couple of people were asking, "Are you insinuating that Lance is a paedophile?"
Yeah.
He brought that up. It seemed out of nowhere, but it was just the misogyny thing. Like he immediately jumped on, well, I'm not a misogynist. Well, nobody said it. And like I said yesterday, when you're preempting that and explaining that you're not a misogynist, you probably are a misogynist.
Yeah,
so.
I'm not racist, but
I'm not racist, but yeah,
exactly.
Insert racism. Yeah. I know.
So if you wanted to keep going on with that clip, because if people haven't seen that clip, it's just because it's just pure something. So yeah, just keep going on with that. Keep going on with that clip if you want.
By the way, Maro, I made something for you.
Oh, thank you.
Further, okay.
If you want to include women as children, then that is up to you. But I'm not.
Where did I say that? What? This is ridiculous. Where did I say I included women as children? You are making ludicrous accusations.
No, I don't believe so, because you're the one that brought up paedophilia.
Yes, only as an example of the sort of people who might be not permitted to enter. I wouldn't permit paedophiles who are registered. I wouldn't permit registered sex offenders who have been convicted to enter our convention, because I do not want members of my...
So he has to go to the most extreme before he won't allow people to enter his convention.
Crime has to have been committed.
Yeah.
That's not always how these things work, because you're a private convention, so you can ban anyone you like. It's like Twitter with their policies. They can remove anyone's account regardless of whether they've got a conviction in public for being an asshole. They can remove them for...
It's a safeguarding and perception issue. It's about how people feel, whether or not they feel safe at the conference.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we'll get onto that in a little bit, because obviously he does bring up the law an awful lot in later on. So just before we do that, so I think something Jen's added here.
I can't.
It says, "You lying cockwomble, John."
With your lovely "fuck you, John" face.
I love you, Jen. Can you send that straight to me,
it's on Twitter. I sent it to our group chat.
I
sent it to Dave, and I sent it to
I tweeted it.
Jeff as well.
I want to rotate come out and bring Chris back in for a little bit. So, does anyone want to volunteer?
I haven't posted it public because I thought that would be entirely up to you to do, Mary.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That is absolutely gorgeous. I am retweeting that.
Go for it. It's there. It's in the group chat. You can retweet it. I wish it was a higher quality picture, but unfortunately, I was using StreamYard in its normal mode at the time.
Fair enough. Anyway, Okay, at 3017. Okay, this is an important one because I'm talking about David Silverman at
3017, yeah.
3017.
Okay. Oh yeah, I see it. Why has it been YouTube? You've been in use since.
You are giving an award to David Silverman if he's not coming.
I'm not giving an award. Where did you get that idea from? The winners of the award have not been decided, let alone announced. You're making stuff up.
Well, you are nominating David Silverman for an award.
I did not nominate. I did not nominate anyone.
Okay. So why is he on your website?
I am just the administrator. The only person in the world who is not allowed to nominate or vote is me.
Okay.
All right, here's a problem.
He is on the website.
Sorry.
Right. He is switching repeatedly, right, between him as an organization and him as an individual. He is there as a representative of the organization.
But he's also saying the organization is him.
Yes. Yeah. Right. And the confusing of these two is how he is able to get away to say he didn't do something.
Yeah.
But he might not have done it, but his organization did.
And if his organization is only him, then he did it.
Yes, very much so.
But it's obviously not only him, it's also Lamb.
Sorry? You want the smoking gun? I've got the smoking gun.
Go on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Sorry. I've just been doing a bit of research in the background. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. I just need you guys to bear with me as I kind of walk you through this.
Go for it.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to the atheist. So you'll notice the address is Neuster 1 in Monheim is the address for Anti-Theist International UG.
Yeah.
So that's also the address for this business, which is martial arts. Comes through from here. Martial arts professionals. You click on that link. It takes you to here. You go to the contact, and there is the address. Same address, same phone number.
Oh my gosh!
It is absolutely Lance Gregorchuk. Absolutely, 100%. That is Lance Gregorchuk's business address. It is also the phone number for the business. If I jump onto, so this is the business here. You'll notice someone there in the profile picture.
Okay. Can I be slightly worried as to what that says? Because that says map at the top.
Sorry?
I don't think it would mean the same in German as it does in English.
Fair enough.
But yeah, correlation is not causation there, Dave, but it is very funny.
Especially the whole paedophile comment from earlier.
Yeah, that was a paedophile comment. Yep.
That's incredible.
So there we go. So Anti-Theist International, which is organising the event, has the same German address and same German phone number as Lance Gregorchuk, or as the business that Lance Gregorchuk manages, called Martial Arts Professionals. And just so everyone can see, Martial Arts Professionals, just so there's nothing funny about it.
Vagrant Sam says, be careful linking addresses to names. Since this is a business name, a business address, not a personal address, it should be fine. But good point. It could be considered doxing. I personally don't think so, because
it's all public information.
It is public information.
Yeah, I'm quite literally just clicking and finding this. So,
wow.
Yeah. We should reiterate at this point, our intention here is in no way to get anyone to harass Lance or his businesses. We are just trying to draw the parallel and follow the evidence trail from
Anti-Theist
International.
Reiterate that entirely. Yeah. Do not go and harass that Lancer's business and nothing. But we've made a connection here. I'm hoping we may have someone else join us very shortly as well.
Chris, would you be able to send that to Ocean Keltoy?
Can do.
Yeah.
Can
Just send that to Ocean, because I think he would be very interested. And also, could you send that to me as well?
Done. I'll put you two in a Twitter group and send it all across.
Chris, I'll just step out for a second or so. I'll leave you in charge of the stream.
Okay. Drop yourself down, Jeff, and bring Amanda in. Yeah.
So, hello.
Hey.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear. No one go and harass anyone, but this is all on very, very much on public display. I mean, you Google the phone number and it pops up with what we found. So.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to go on to the next point that I thought was hilarious? Oh, so anyway, what he said is to me is, are you privy to? I asked him about David Silverman, and he goes, "Is he coming? Are you privy to information that I'm not? You're making things up." Because he said to me that he doesn't know who's going to win the award. But remember how I said earlier on in the stream that he said it's probably going to be Stephen Fry. So remember how I said that I said to like he said to me that he doesn't know who's going to win anything, and yet he basically said that Stephen Fry is going to win something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Critical Cripple actually says, "How does he?" Said in the chat, "How do you know that Stephen Fry has won the award?" Do you want to jump to 31, just before 31:53? Is that possible?
Actually, it depends. Is Scummer still in the background, because he's the only one who can?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So we
no, you have to bugger off for a little bit. We can talk about it all for a bit, though.
Okay. I don't know how I'm going to be. Well, 31:53, just before that, was when he's like, complain.
Yeah. Actually,
I like the accent too.
Nacho, can you play it through your webcam thing? Nacho?
We lost Nacho too.
Have we lost Nacho? Can you do it with yours, Dave?
No, not my computer.
Okay. No, okay. I don't. I probably could if I set up thingy and play it through, but I know I've got the wrong app in. Oh no, I don't. I can do it. Ooh. If I change my audio output to my OBS, so if it picks up the audio from the OBS, I can play a bit. I can grab and play a video if you want me to.
Okay.
But it'll only just show up in the little tiny thing from here.
Yeah, don't have to do.
Nacho is here, but it's not working.
Yeah. Oh, Nachos is here and it's not working. Okay, give me a sec.
I can't hear him.
I need your video. It's going to take me a minute.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
Yeah. So that was So his complain. Oh God, that was just hilarious.
Can you see me now at all?
Yeah, can you hear you now? Are you able to do it now, because I'm not actually set up for it.
What was I playing?
The video, the
certain bit of the video, because we can't get
okay. Do you know what timestamp you've got?
Yep.
Yes, it is 31:53. So maybe like 31:50.
I won't be precise. It's too hard to be precise.
Yep.
Hold up, I've just got to find.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter if people don't get the video anyway, as long as they get the audio. So.
30 what?
31:53. So maybe 31:50.
Oops. That'll do. Let's try from here. Hopefully this works.
Not getting the sound though.
No sound. Ah, of course, I have to swap my sound over. Shit. Give me a quick second.
Yeah, we'll keep talking. It's still going to be quicker for you than for me.
Yeah. So that was 31:53. And according to my notes, immediately exactly a minute after, I caught that's where
Sorry, I was just going to say you won't be able to hear me when I do it because I have to literally switch over each time. That means I have to go into... What are we using? Streamlabs or whatever the fuck. StreamYards, audio, switch to my default. Oh shit, that's not going to work. Oh, fuck life. Why is this not easy?
I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
I know there's a way to do it, but I have not got it set up. Let's see, audio.
Okay. Well,
yeah, ignore me. Keep talking for a while.
Yeah, well, not just doing that. Okay, so I'm 32:53. That's when I catch him out on the lie, where he claims he cannot remember if David Worley has been nominated for an award.
Bullshit.
So
yeah, like he doesn't remember, like he's
yeah, and
that he's in charge of everything.
I though this is weird as well. I'm fairly certain, and I'm really struggling to remember that he effectively offered David Worley the award at one point in the interview.
No worry, Nacho. Someone's that.
But look, the thing is, I mean, it's a private organisation. I mean, it's really not that hard for him to say, well, look, David Worley was running a competing event on the same weekend.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's some issues there. We didn't think it was appropriate for David to win an award at our event. If he wants to win an award at his event, that's up to him, but we're running separate events. And leave it at that. And it would have been a very acceptable answer.
But the problem is with that, he then has to admit that they get to vet the nominees. And if they vet the nominees, he has to answer to the sexual allegations against some of them.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point.
Jeff, you're muted, mate.
That's it. I'm muted. Sorry, guys. I was just going to say, it's about whether or not David Worley should win an award or not. Let's ask someone who might have an opinion on that. Hello, David.
Hey.
Hello.
Morning.
Hey there.
The award-winning David Worley.
How you doing?
It's gone midday. I can start having a beer now. I'm going to need it to get through John's.
Well, we just got up to the point where we're 32 minutes and 53 seconds in, and we've got another 5 pages worth of going. So I'm actually skipping quite a lot of my notes.
We're going to have to skip quite a bit of this.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Just very quickly, if you can hear me properly, because I think I'm on the headset audio because I've just quickly jumped in. I have to go off to a prior engagement at Nando's. This is very important. For those who are unaware, this is a chicken shop, and it's basically like church. So we have to obviously run off to that. So if there's any tidbits that Jeff is sort of teasing me on Twitter with, then just throw them at me, and then I'll have to jump out in what is like maybe 6 minutes.
Hey, Chris,
I'll be back to Chris. I think.
Chris is probably the one that you want to talk to.
Okay.
What did I do?
Well, someone who we may or may not have busted someone.
Oh yeah, no, I've completely found the evidence on the Anti-Theist website, linking Lance Gregorchuk to it. It's got his phone number on it. All they've done is just change the name to John Richards, but it's Lance Gregorchuk's business address and business phone number in Germany, in Mannheim.
So just to clarify, his contact, Lance's contacts are still on the website, and so we're now deciding whether Lance is still involved within the organisation, and whether this is just lazy on their behalf, or whether this is intentional. Intentional.
No, it's clearly intentional, because they've actually gone to the effort of changing it from Lance's name to John's name. So I'll quickly share the screen so you can see it.
Sure.
It comes up in German, so which tells me the website was built in Germany, which is where he's located.
Yeah.
Yep. There it is. So John Richards is now put in as the contact. That phone number is actually for a business that actually for two businesses that are linked to Lance Gregorchuk, and that address is for a business that is operated or managed by Lance Gregorchuk according to his Facebook page.
Wow. Interesting. Good digging. Yeah. What is there to say? This is at this point.
It's blatantly obvious. Yeah. It's blatant.
Yeah. I mean, seeing as I am jumping in and then demanding all of this information from you, I am privy to certain information that I sworn not to share, but will be revealed very shortly, I'm sure. And that's going to be tremendously exciting and fuel people's sort of what, Schadenfreude. I want to use a different word, but people.
So the glee might be a better one.
Glee at the misfortune of others. That is certainly going to be experienced, I think, over the next 24 to 48 hours. But I cannot reveal anything.
Okay.
I love the mystery.
Right.
It's not my choice, but yeah.
So by Tuesday evening, we're allowed to beat you up for information if nothing's come out.
Oh yeah, go for it. Yeah, that's fine.
I wouldn't do that to you, mate. I wouldn't do that.
Obviously, Dave, I did mention it earlier, but obviously, I don't know if you just want to mention the current status with Dave Con.
Oh sure. So it's been postponed for fairly obvious reasons for COVID-19. If I'm allowed to say that on the stream, I'm been told that I'm not allowed to say that. But I just said it, so there we are. You're demonetized as well. But then
anyway, sir.
we obviously now have a significantly longer amount of time to plan a slightly bigger event, possibly with a few more speakers that couldn't make it to the first one because of the date and whatever. So yeah, I'm in talks. There are at least a couple more people that could be added to the speaker roster. So it's going pretty well so far. This weekend's been pretty good. Yeah. Thank you again, Nervardia.
No worries. Thank you for figuring it out. Like, thank you for starting the ball rolling. It's like you that we should be thanking. But it's
to
good.
be fair, there was a cliff edge, and I just went, and it went all by itself.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But no, you did a good job bringing it up. So congratulations.
We've got a question for you here, Nervardia.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's a children's python. He's a children's python. Native Australian non-venomous snake, thankfully, because if he was venomous, I'd be dead.
Yeah, it's like you got enough venomous snakes in Australia, isn't it? It is
one of the few animals in Australia that will want to not kill you, but he still wants to eat me though. Yeah, I do love him. He's the dude.
Hello, everyone in the live chat as well. I will have to run off to Nando's, otherwise those two.
Well,
my gaming stream are going to be kicking off otherwise.
Dave, mate. So.
Awesome. Char and Minnie, as I said, from my gaming stream, absolutely loved parts of the interview. They it's just a bit when he was shouting you down several times.
Which bit?
Like the parlor.
Yeah.
We're all like, yeah.
It's almost like someone doing it on the old scratching, on the old the pull up.
There may or may not be a dance track available within the week.
Oh,
that was not
be.
my secret.
Oh, no,
by the way, there's another thing.
Someone will be.
Do you need me to dance for you so you can clip this kind of movement?
Yes.
Awesome. Right. I'm gonna have to run off for chicken purposes. So
have
I have
fun.
to love you and leave you. Thanks for having me. And take care. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, as it were.
Yeah.
Although Australians have much left of it. But
Yeah, we've
that's
got
their
like
fault.
a bit
Almost
over an hour.
Right. Take care.
Bye.
Have a good one, mate. Catch you early.
Just Dave. Well, I'll bring Manda back in.
Out of curiosity, and I probably should have asked when Dave was there, because Nacho gave me an idea, and I've just checked that. When was Dave's interview with Lance?
Oh, it's about 4 months ago now.
I think it was the end of November, actually.
November 26th, if I remember correctly, because I actually wrote the date down for when I actually interviewed Dave.
Because it looks like that About page was created on the 8th of December, 2019.
I know that the interview with Shannon was on the 14th of December. I don't know why, but I looked at the date and it just stuck in my head. So the 14th of December was the interview that John had with Shannon.
So I've just gone back through the Wayback Machine, and it was the 8th of December, the 10th of December, then the 17th, and then nothing until the 7th of March this year. It looks of it. So I'm just doing a bit of research on that, but I mean, I think it's all it's doing is just reinforcing what we already know.
Yeah.
He's still actively involved. He's still financing it. He's still going.
Of course,
Yeah.
Nothing's changed. He's just not doing PR.
Yeah. Just make sure you send that to all of this information to Ocean, because this will make Ocean very, very excited.
Yeah. We definitely got to keep raising.
Do we need an anti-theist international group?
The anti.
Yes.
Because
I just wish that the nominations were still open, because if anyone can nominate, Kent Hovind is my pick for Atheist of the Year.
I agree.
All through the year would have to be Ray Comfort, and if there's a science award, it's got to go to Ken Ham.
No, it's got to go to Anthony Riley.
I don't know Anthony Riley.
Just his flavor, not Earth.
Oh, okay.
Anyone noticed the dislike?
So.
Yeah. So, did you want to, Jeff? Did you want to show everyone 3153?
3153.
Yeah, just make it just in case.
3153.
It's only going to go for a couple of seconds.
No, wrong bit. I'll play it from here. 2 seconds before.
Well, I do know that David Worley has been nominated by the public on several occasions by several people, and put him
Complain to the public.
We need a Dalek running around saying that.
Jeez,
does feel like a Dalek. Can we capture that, because I want that as my my new ringtone.
No, have it as your alarm tone, just to make it even more annoying.
Yeah, it's an alarm. Definitely.
I'll keep it on six pack. Everyone, whenever
bring Jem back in.
I actually might get cruising.
All right,
so
good night.
let me out. I'll get going.
Okay.
Thanks for having
Did
me,
you actually
Jeff.
do a very quick talk about the conversation you've been having with John, or are you still?
Please do that for you.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Are you arranging interviews?
Like, as I said, say again?
Are you arranging interviews?
Well, I was thinking of it. He's possibly still eager to chat with me, but I'd actually prefer to see Pastor chat with him and do a edited debunk, because I don't know, it's all my style. He is a very interesting character, though. That's his fucking for sure. He has admitted that it's just basically about the money. You know, he doesn't mind taking advantage of controversial situations to make a profit. There's a few things that I still need to narrow down. I know Pastor is helping me out with a lot of that, which is great. But otherwise, he's not very good at holding a conversation, just in general. I found that he can't go a couple sentences without suddenly just talking about something completely different, changing the conversation, which is kind of frustrating because you might be like trying to get talk about one specific thing, and he'll keep just diverting the conversation, and it's not always unnatural. Sometimes it's just he can follow through with something and then he'll be off on something else, and
he's got media training. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
Oh, really? You think he's actually? This is completely. What's it called?
Intentional.
No, I don't think it is, but I don't think he minds the controversy. There's a saying, controversy creates cash. It's like the old, any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
That doesn't work when you've got a close-knit community.
Yeah. But I will say, with my channel, in the past 2 days, I've seen. Normally, I see probably about 4 or 5 people subscribing. When I did the interview, I got 15 people.
So, his words, well, his quoting, engaging with the amateur podcasting scene, which we have, which is a tiny niche that is hardly worth bothering with it. So I'm like, why do you involve yourself with it? So engaging with it gives it the oxygen of publicity. So it's literally just about the publicity for him. He's also got give me a quick second. Might be a moment. I should fucking find it. Yes, of course. So he's trying to ask me to at first it was to, if he does a response video to my video that I'm writing, he wants me to put it on my channel. I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. I put my video on my channel, you put yours on yours. And he's basically saying, like, look, last time this happened, it helps increase our traffic. Our traffic increased 8-fold for no cost. And I'm like, I'm not interested in that. And he says, I am. It sells tickets.
So you're saying that
it sells only tickets. It's going to sell this to DaveCon, quite frankly. But
pretty much. Yes. No, I definitely made sure that was shilled at the end of the stream.
Yeah. Can I touch on that actually now? Because we're clearly, we're almost an hour and a half into this, and we're just still on at the bottom of the first page of notes here. So I just want to mention. Should we just mention what he said at the end about that now? Because we're on DaveCon. Because I just thought that was really. I don't know why that was. All the stupid stuff he said. I don't know why that stuck in my craw a bit when he was just.
It was very, very craw sticking.
Sorry, I do got to love and leave you. As I said, I was bugging off before. So have fun, guys.
Thanks for coming in, Nacho.
Yeah,
not a problem.
I'm probably going to have to do the same. So
right.
I might love you all and leave you, but keep fighting the good fight, and I'll get all that stuff sent across. So.
Yeah, no, I think straight to Ocean, and just go straight to Ocean, and I'll even send him a message and say let him know that he should read what you're going to say.
Yeah, no problem. I'll flick it across a bit later on.
If you can't get onto him, just let me know, and I'll get onto him as well.
Well, what if you were to? Why don't you create a group on Twitter with both of us in it, and I'll post it in there.
Okay.
Too easy.
right.
Incidentally, Jen, am I allowed to use John's complain for six-pack?
Why wouldn't you?
just whenever you or Hissy talk.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Complain.
I've got to put where is it? Comment Jen said a few minutes ago.
It was Ozzy and I were talking about.
Yeah, you man were talking.
Yeah.
John's darling, Lance's Davros. Oh dear.
I love it. All right, everyone, have a wonderful morning or evening or afternoon, depending on where you are on this beautiful planet.
Thanks for
Catch you later.
coming on, Chris.
Planet.
Yeah.
Bye, Nacho. So we have a space.
Yeah. So we've got a space now. If anyone.
Well, if you want someone to rage, get Ozzy in here because he'll be pissed off as all hell.
Okay. So did you?
I'll find him. Is he on Twitter again now?
Yeah, he's on Twitter. The wheeled one.
Okay.
Wheeled one? The wheel? Is it the wheeled one or wheeled one?
The wheeled wonder.
Wonder, yeah.
Okay, so now that we're talking about Dave Con, it was basically from a minute 20 all the way through to like a minute 22. So this is going to be a long clip.
Where are we? Just the Dave Con bit.
A year. It feels like a year.
Do you want me to send Ozzy the link?
Yeah, if you could, Jen, that'd be great. Yeah.
Assuming he'll receive it on Discord.
Where is it? 1 hour 21 and 30.
It's well, he starts going, "Thank you, Nervardia, for giving me this opportunity to promote a law-abiding, well-regulated safety first convention." So 1 hour 20 and 18 seconds.
Well, I just.
You mentioned this is a few seconds before that.
Thank you very much, John. I really appreciate your interview. I really enjoyed that. So, is there any last thing you would like to say?
Yes, I would. I would like to say thank you, Nervardia, for giving me this opportunity to promote a law-abiding, well-regulated, safety-first convention, which is only being postponed thanks to COVID-19 to October 25th, 24th and 25th, and have had the support of Stephen Law, Richard Dawkins, he will be there, he's agreed to come, and Lawrence Krauss and Alex O'Connor and Ian McEwen. All of these celebrities have given us our backing, and for that, I'm grateful.
Sorry.
Okay. Also, can I ask, have you heard about Dave Con? He's doing on the same weekend. He's doing a convention. It's got Aaron Ra there. It's got Rachel Boots. It's got Say the Most Gracious.
You have to look at his response.
How about we stop it? Because I want to complain at him.
I have heard I invited Rachel Oates to come and speak at our event.
Sorry, do you want to stop that there, Jen?
Yeah, it's still got further to go, but Jen wanted to say something.
I just want to say, could he have been any more of a slimy little scumbag to you at the end of that? Oh, I want to thank you so much, Nervardia. It was the condensation was just dripping off him, wasn't it? It was. I mean, if he ever wanted to make himself look any more like an arsehole, he did it right at the end.
Yeah.
What's that voice coming in?
Are you right, Dave? Also, when I mention Aaron Ra, Aaron Ra. Sorry, I'm so used to saying Aaron.
Yeah.
Aaron Ra. Watch his body. Watch his.
Man. Hey, Ozzy.
Hey, Ozzy. Hello. Yeah, watch his body language when I say Aaron Ra. So so I think it's
what's there? Hold on. Okay.
About 21:02.
Right, I'm going to put that full screen just so people can see it then. So I'll keep. Where is it? I'll just keep playing. This is one. Actually, I think you're about a minute out of sync here with your notes.
And I'm aware.
Yeah, no, it's a typo.
An evening on the same day as, well, I don't know whether he's postponed it, of course, but I do know that he scheduled it for April the 4th to coincide.
Actually, it's about a minute before this, I think. Actually, So I'll just jump back very quickly to that. A few seconds. Hold on, where is it?
Just so people know, Bull has just put John's voice through a Dalek processing app and made it sound exactly like a Dalek.
Oh, brilliant.
Ashley Howell said, this dude is going off on all kinds of bad faith. Kudos to you for your strength through this sugar bit, Nervardia. Okay, thank you very much, John. I really appreciate your interview. I really enjoyed that. So, is there any last thing you would like to say?
I missed this bit here.
Yes, I would.
I missed this bit. I think your notes might be a little bit because I didn't mention to get the Aaron Ra bit there.
No, keep playing.
Okay, I know we played this
I'd
bit
like
before.
to say thank you, Nervardia,
We played this
for
bit
giving me
before,
this
didn't we?
opportunity
Yeah,
to
keep playing.
a law-abiding, well-regulated, safety-first convention, which has only been postponed thanks to COVID-19 to October the 24th and 25th, and has had the support of Stephen Law, Richard Dawkins, he will be there, he's agreed to come, and Lawrence Krauss and Alex O'Connor and Ian McEwen. All of these celebrities have given us our backing, and for that, I'm grateful.
What's his body language?
Also, can I ask, have you heard about Dave Con? He's doing on the same weekend. He's doing a convention. It's got Aaron Ra there. It's got Rachel
Christ,
Oates.
yeah.
It's got
No, I see it.
Faith Demonstration.
Oh,
Have you heard of that? Have you heard of
That
that?
is very condescending.
I have heard of that. I invited Rachel Oates to come and speak at our event, and she turned me down.
Okay.
And I'm aware that David is putting on an evening on the same day as, well, I don't know whether he's postponed it, of course, but I do know that he scheduled it for April the 4th to coincide with our weekend event including a gala banquet cabaret award ceremony.
Are you suggesting that just because Dave was only able to get it to just a single afternoon, it is not as good as yours?
You can draw your own conclusions.
That's just how I interpret it, and I was wondering.
I'm going to pause it there because that's clearly what he was meant.
do you want to bring Amanda in? Because I think that pissed her off a bit. Oh, you are it. Sorry.
Amanda?
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you did answer me, Ozzy. Yeah, I didn't notice. Sorry.
Yeah. That was. I think I called him out pretty well.
Yeah.
As soon as he said that, it says, "Are you shitting on David's thing?" Like. And he was like, no, you've got such a suspicious mind. And just yeah, so does anybody want to respond to that? Because what he
I think
says,
Ozzy's going to explode if he doesn't say something.
I'll let Ozzy go again because he's going to
I've got something special. I'm going to wait till the end.
Okay, well, we'll wait with bated breath. Amanda, I think, did you want to say something in regards to that? Or
No, I thought it was funny how, you're listing off names of people that are coming, and he's like, oh, whatever. And then you're right, you got to Aaron, and he's like, he's so taken aback, like, I'm not going to justify that. Like, that's not actually happening. But what he said about Rachel, well, Rachel's probably turned him down because he's a fucking prick. So
Rachel was never an option.
no.
She's
never going to go.
if anyone's seen that video where what John did, where he was supposedly with his invite to Rachel, you'd pretty much understand why she'd say, fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the cuddly toy singing. I was like, come on.
And I was actually going to ask him that, but I didn't get around to it. There were a couple of questions I didn't ask.
You should have had a cuddly toy.
But knowing that wasn't an option at all, he had no problem with kind of shitting on her for, turning him down, which, like you said, didn't even happen. So.
I mean, I suppose I'm trying to be as charitable to the guy as I can be here. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah, Dave Con, in a way, is a bit of a middle finger to their event. It totally is. I mean, I don't think any of us are going to deny that. But if he's actually right from the beginning,
to be fair, Dave Con wasn't done at that date to be a middle finger. No. It was done because that's when Aaron was in the country because of the initial conference.
That was part. I mean, being a middle finger is a byproduct.
Yes.
But it was because obviously Aaron did pull out and he'd already got non-refundable tickets. So, but
it's us taking advantage of Aaron being here, basically.
Yeah, that was a big part of it. But yeah, I mean, just the whole he's putting on an evening or whatever, and we've got a big gala, and I'm like, oh, seriously, fuck you, dude, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've missed so damn much out of this, really, because it's just one
thing after another. Yeah. Like as I mentioned in the group chat for DO Arena, I was going through it, and literally every 15 seconds I make a note. And I'm very tempted to release these notes into the Twitterverse to say, this is what I've noticed. This is what I went through. Like after it took me 2 hours to do this. These are my notes. Every 15 seconds he said something or something happened within the thing that made him look like an asshole, or someone comments in the side chat, or I ask the question which he becomes an asshole about. Literally every 15 seconds, and a lot of the reasons why I have bigger gaps, like I've got a few 1 or 2 minute gaps, is because in that 1 or 2 minute gaps is showing that it is was him just being an asshole. So yeah, literally it took me a while. It took me about 2.5 hours, 3 hours to write those notes.
Yeah, I mean that's just a little bit from the end. I mean, it's I mean, I don't know if we necessarily have to play the clip of it, but he's talked an awful lot about the law in that, and as if somehow that I mean, obviously
again, is that not trying to be condescending and trying to talk down to Merrick?
Oh, totally.
No, he was doing that the entire video, Dave.
I know. But
it started that way even before Mero went live, so...
Yeah, Hesty's comment, yeah.
Do you want to keep playing from there? From that part?
From that bit we were just playing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, actually, yes, because there's something he does say now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just beautiful.
I have merely presented...
so...
Yeah, I've presented No, you're not a skeptic. You are a conspiracy theorist. You're a conspiracy theorist. That's what you are.
I've done my research on this.
I have merely presented the facts.
Fuck off.
I was literally yelling at my phone when he said that shit to you, Mero. I was like, you fucking asshole. You don't know what a skeptic is.
You're a conspiracy theorist. Oh, am I?
Wait. So the microbiologist and biochemist is a conspiracy theorist?
Yeah, well, I mentioned my credentials. Just keep going. It's just
okay.
It's ridiculous.
Well,
Oh, hold on.
see,
Something went wrong there. It put me right back to the beginning. Right, let's find where I was. It's about 1 hour 20 something.
1 hour 20 something.
1:22. 1 hour 22:10.
Yeah. Yeah. For some reason, it put me right back at near the start of the video.
I like his point. He sounds like an apologist.
Is that your suggestion?
What a suspicious mind you have. I have merely
I'm a
presented.
skeptic, so.
Yeah, I've presented the. No, you're not a skeptic. You are a conspiracy theorist. You're a conspiracy theorist. That's what you are.
Conspiracy theorist. I've done my research on this.
I have merely presented the facts.
You've merely presented, and I have asked the questions, and you have answered some of the questions that I've asked, and you have avoided other ones. I am a skeptic. I am doing a degree in science. I have been taught critical thinking skills. Yeah. And I'm just asking the questions that myself and the rest of the community also have. So the fact that you just called me a conspiracy theorist kind of just gives us all a bit of an idea of the amount of respect that you have towards me. So thank you very much for that.
You have exposed.
Oh, damn, it's done it again. Who wants to go first?
Come on, Ozzy, you got to say something.
Say it.
Say it. We want to hear it.
Gotta say it.
Oh, you muted.
Muted, mate.
Good.
Yeah, we can hear.
You can, yeah.
You absolute piece of feculent scum. Fuck you with every single living atom that you rode in on. Fuck you, every single fucking dildo that I can find, then I'll break it off and beat you with it. You're an absolute cunt.
He'll be taking a trip to ER, like all those photos we were showing yesterday.
Clip that and send that to John.
It was just the only time he actually got under my skin was when he said, well thank you for admitting you're not perfect. And I went, fuck you. That was of course I'm not perfect. No one's fucking perfect. I have my
earlier on in the interview, wasn't it? Because I think that's the first time you really I know he's condescending, but that was the first time I thought he read a real snidey comment at you. You know, it's like
and that was okay. No, first of all, he says, and I said that something about probably he said something about the fact that I was probably the most sensible thing I have said so far in the conversation was me commenting that on his policy, and okay, so something about hang on, where else? I know I wrote about it. Our behavior is acceptable. Oh yeah, he tells me how to conduct my own interview. That was a good one.
Here's one of my favourite lines. Here's one of my favourite lines. This is not an interview. This is you imposing your views on the public. Let me speak. Let me speak.
That was a good one.
He had over an hour and a half to speak. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, he repeated himself so many times.
So he got stuck on the website.
Yeah.
We've got a little bit of something from Bullinator, which I've managed to modify a little bit, just for the sake of trying to make it sound a little bit closer. Hopefully this will work.
Complain.
Complain.
Okay, so
Complain.
1 hour, 5 minutes, and 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
1 hour, 5 minutes, 20.
That's
I'll try and find that clip. All right. I mean, we have to bounce about a bit with this, but 1 hour, 5.
Do you also like the fact that I tell him Jimmy Savile wasn't convicted of
Yeah.
child pedophilia, and going by his criteria, he would have been allowed to the convention if he was still alive?
I'm going to play that little bit here.
The world's most efficiently organized person. I'm sorry, I'm guilty of that.
That's okay.
And I
I
apologize.
understand. I am also a fairly disorganized person myself.
Good. I'm glad you're not perfect.
Yes, that is true. I'm not perfect, but I would. If
That's not the way you say that. No.
I would
What's going on
definitely
here?
consider going.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to say this. I'm not perfect, but the way he said that reminded me of a 12-year-old girl. It reminded me of the way that I got bullied at school.
Yes, you're right. It's exactly how bullies talk.
Yeah, it is a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
That's
not a
probably
little
why it got under my skin, because it reminded me exactly of how I got treated at school by the bitches.
He begrudged you making him admit that he wasn't organised.
Yeah. And if you're going to organize a convention, be fucking organized.
Exactly.
I mean, it's one thing for any of us.
Conferences, because I don't know where the fuck to begin.
It's one thing for us to be disorganized in our own lives and the things we do for ourselves, or even creating our videos on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah.
But if you've got a guest convention with hundreds of people who are supposedly coming to it, you've got to be a little bit better than that.
Oh yeah. So that was one of the things that really kind of got under my skin. Yes. So I like the fact. Looking back on this now, I probably shouldn't have said this. Just before I start to read my super chats, which that was the best I could do. I had he was going on about talking about not barring someone for the convention if they haven't been caught having sexual misdemeanors, and I said, so people with credible sexual assault allegations are perfectly fine. So let's talk about the super chat. He got fucking triggered by that. That was.
Can you run that by me again?
Okay. 1 hour, 18 minutes, and 55 seconds. I'm sorry. I'm going to do some more.
1 hour, 18, 55.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Permitted to enter because that's the law.
Okay. But people with credible sexual assault allegations is allowed to come in. Okay, so let's go on to the super chats. So Lamont Stewart said for $5 said maybe it was better we couldn't hear. That was good, Lamont. Dave Turner wants to know if Jimmy Savile is up for a nomination. Would John allow him to go through?
All right, you probably stop it now.
Yeah, I think that's.
No, okay, well that's good.
You spoke about very legitimate stuff, like you spoke about actual convictions being, well, not allowed, but if they were just accused, then they can let in. Make allegations, doesn't matter what, if it gets taken to court, they're innocent until proven guilty. However, if such a method was been brought out into the light and that person was going to your convention or your organization or something that you were organizing, sorry, I'm at a loss of words for tonight. it's going to put a very, very dark mark against whatever you do from that point onwards. You've got to make sure that the people that are accused of it are cleared of that before you let them go there, only just for the sake of publicity and sanity.
And it's also public safety too. I mean, you don't know if this person's guilty or not. If they are and you allow them, then you are putting people at risk. If they're not and you don't, okay, you've upset this one person who wasn't guilty. But you're not accusing them by saying they can't attend.
No,
you're just saying we are taking a high ground for public safety. And that is very different. It's a shit thing if you're the person who's falsely accused. Yes, I agree. Falsely accused people, it's a shit thing for them. It is a very shit thing. But there is the element of greater safety for the public. You know, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few in this case.
Yeah. And also, just putting a bad analogy, but if you've got something that's broken and is a danger, what do? You put things saying, danger, this is going to hurt you. Like you've got the slippery floor thing, for example. You've got that. Why is that any different to taking away somebody who could be a danger to the public? You're just protecting the public.
It's a precautionary thing. I mean, if I think about it, like for example, I won't say exactly where I work, but in the job I work, like being suspended from work is not a disciplinary action; it's a precautionary action. It's a we think he might be doing something wrong, or he's doing whatever it is. We can't have him here until it's a precautionary measure. That's a similar thing. You can, you've got a. I'm pretty sure it would, John would be well within his rights to sort of say to someone, whether it be Krauss, Silverman, whoever, that this is hanging over you. We can't have you in here. I'm pretty sure he's well within his rights to do that.
He is. You can turn around and say it's not our place to judge.
Yeah.
But until it has been decided, we are going to not take a decision and exclude you for that reason.
Yeah. Another thing that I think I made a really good point. Where did I put it? At 1:11:43. So if you maybe go to 1:11:40, for example.
Can we talk about Chris's comment first?
Yeah, actually before that.
Do you want to pop it back up again? Yeah. So Secular World magazine is put out by Atheist Alliance International, their organization, and they announced, and they were saying it was address was put in it from the president, David Silverman. So David Silverman is all part of the same stuff, and we know what he's been accused of.
Yeah, I thought Atheist Alliance International had already gotten rid of him because of the latest thing that came. Because you remember Silverman, because he kind of came back, didn't he? And then sort of saying, defending himself, saying the allegations against him weren't true, and he was going on this big offensive over like YouTube channels and that, trying to get his side of the story out. Which I'm like, okay, by all means, tell your side of the story. But then,
I'm all for that.
But then he was working for this group, Atheist Alliance International. But then I think another allegations come against him, so I'm not sure that he's still there or not.
I don't think he is. I think Ocean actually talked about that in his channel. So on his latest video, and there's a lot of the information that I'm talking about here is actually dragged straight from Ocean's video. So if you haven't seen that, you absolutely have to see that before you watch this interview.
What I will do is, when I end this and I start editing, I will put the link to Ocean's video, and I'll obviously put the link to your interview, full interview with John in there as well. If people can stomach any more of it after just the bit we've heard on this stream.
Yeah, you're just getting the clips, like
this clip show version.
I'd just like to say that if I was a conspiracy theorist, I would be thinking at this moment that John, Lance, and David were all part of organizing a great big ring of people who like to get access to public for molestation purposes.
Okay. The views
that's putting on. That's the end of my channel now.
You're being a conspiracy theorist. You're not being skeptical. You're being a conspiracy theorist. Okay.
Yeah.
But there was
these stories come from a country that doesn't exist. Of course,
I will highlight. I was saying, if I was being a conspiracy theorist, I don't necessarily think that's true, but it can look that way if you.
Thanks.
Look at who these people are all supporting each other are.
Also, something I just want to point out. You know how I said God's not dead, but there was so much emotion. I looked fucking deadpan, but inside I was internally screaming. But I meant to say God delusion, like Dawkins God delusion. And remember how I was saying it kind of is surprising to me that this hasn't been what are you doing, mate? To me, it's a bit surprising it hasn't been nominated. Like, why hasn't it been nominated? It's like the eminent book written for atheism.
Yeah.
Why? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, if I was thinking clearer, but I was, as I said, by this time I was mentally and emotionally exhausted. I just wanted to finish.
I was thinking why were you mentioning awful Kevin Sorbo movie, but
I didn't mean to do that.
I figured
everyone knew I was trying to say God delusion.
I thought you were trying to say God's not great.
But why was it David Silverman? And then I should have thought, but you didn't receive any of the nomination. You're saying you did not receive a single nomination for God's Not Dead or Dawkins' book, but the same thing. We all nominated David Worley.
Yeah, I'm going to say.
See, there should have been an investigation into the nomination process. Not the fucking nomination. There's a fucking nomination process.
But he didn't know that people were trying to campaign for David. He knew full well because you've seen that screenshot of the message he sent to David.
Exactly, and I brought it up.
On your channel, you're not gonna,
Yeah, so we caught him out in that lie. So what is it to stop him from lying again about God's not great? Or sorry, everyone, I apologize. But God's not great. Or Richard Dawkins' God Delusion book.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you that
isn't God's Not Great it's God's Not Dead was the movie that they did. Yeah, wow. All these stupid God's Nots.
Yeah. So
Ozzy's naked, by the way, Jeff.
I think I'm naked too.
So I
have a question.
And Notcha.
For anyone that's actually read their policy, does anyone think or believe that he believes it and will enforce it?
Oh God, no! Absolutely no.
I will admit, I haven't read through it. I know.
I can bring it up right now. I've actually got it
sure.
in the tab.
We'll go for it quickly because I just realised it's getting on the 2-hour mark, and I'm going to have to wrap this up.
The only reason I mentioned who's naked in chat is I've noticed it's only been me and Dave who are able to approve comments. So they've actually been a bit slow happening because we're part of the conversation. So,
okay. So, do you want me to read it? It's only about half a page.
Yeah, sure.
Protection. Okay, so mobile phones, cameras, recorders. That was there before the fucking protection harassment clause. Okay, all attendees, staff, speaker staff, members of the audience, etc., will be asked to sign up.
Can I interrupt? Really sorry. Really sorry. That being there before demonstrates what they thought about the conference, because they wanted to sell photos.
Yeah. So we all want all attendees to enjoy the weekend, feel safe and free from harm and abuse. Yeah, sure. We believe everyone has a right to their personal space being protected and respected. We are committed to keeping our attendees safe. Yeah, sure. No knives or other sharp implements are to be brought into the venues. Bags will be searched by security guards. All physical interaction between individuals to be entirely all physical interaction between individuals to be entirely by previously arranged consent, either verbally or in writing. All attendees are responsible for their own and each other's safety. These rules apply to all participants at the convention. And the Anti-Theist International Convention is dedicated to providing a safe and comfortable experience for everyone attending. Harassment of any kind during the convention will not be tolerated, because he didn't harass me at all on my interview. Harassment includes, but is not limited to unwelcome attention, verbal harassment, sexual harassment. God, this is okay. Let's all tick off the shit that he did in my interview. Okay, harassment includes, but is not limited to unwelcome attention, verbal harassment, sexual harassment. Maybe.
Not really.
Well, it depends. No, but
misogyny, yes, but sexual harassment.
yeah, misogyny, yes, not sexual harassment. No, yeah.
Deliberate intimidation.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Stalking or unwanted physical contact, not possible.
No, not possible.
No, let alone physical assault or battery. It also includes harassment, intimidation, and other inappropriate behaviors on social media or other forms of communication.
Yep.
So he broke his own fucking. Oh.
How is it? Okay, I'm really sorry to go back to this. Right, how is it he can't comprehend that Lance made a threat about to do something at the conference?
Oh, I dropped out for some reason.
Because he's got not a lot of brain. He's a bear of very little brain. No, actually, I retract that because it's not right to compare him to Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh is lovely.
Winnie the Pooh is lovely. Winnie the Pooh wouldn't hurt anyone, so. And I don't know if I could say the same thing about Joe.
By the way, sorry, Jeff. Yesterday, when I accidentally called you John, I deeply that.
I do the name thing all the time.
Okay, so continuing on, to avoid misunderstandings, explicitly ask for the people's permission when interacting with them. For instance, ask if you can sit with them and respect their wishes. If they decline, if you're being harassed, you notice that someone else is being harassed, you feel your safety is being compromised or have any other concerns, please contact the convention organizers immediately.
I wouldn't trust them.
No way. Your reports of harassment or similar activity will be recorded and the organizers will discuss the situation with any relevant parties and a decision will then be made on what action is to be taken. Okay. Convention participants violating the rules may be sanctioned or expelled from the convention at the discretion of the organizers. We operate zero tolerance to any form of harassment or victimization and expect all staff members, delegates, guests, contractors, and subcontractors to treat each other with respect, courtesy, and consideration.
Okay, you got to stop there, Mara. He just said, you report it to us and we'll have a discussion and see if it's worth doing it. And then they say, we have a zero tolerance policy. No, you don't. Those two things, the two ways you've said that, just contradict each other. If you have a zero tolerance policy, you ask the person to leave the area who's been complained about until you can figure out what's going on. You don't just go in the back and have a little quiet talk about it. You protect the person who feels threatened because regardless of whether or not they were actually threatened, they still feel threatened.
Exactly. Where am I? A person subjects another to harassment by engaging in unwanted contact. I've already just read that, haven't I?
Oh, that answers a lot, Chris. That answers a fucking lot.
Oh, what is it?
John is a former politician.
Oh, well, yeah, that does explain everything.
Yeah, that answers everything. A lot. Actually, people were saying that he sounds like a politician.
What party is he with, Chris?
Oh, by the way, Amanda, have a look at the StreamYard chat. I sent. I'm trying not to do it as the main part of the conversation, but I just found something that is fucked.
Oh, you'd have to send that to Hissy because she'll go absolutely nuts.
I can't see what's happening because of the Just
Yeah.
drop it in the chat, the group chat.
I wonder why the Liberal Democrats are so bad that it gets censored by YouTube.
I hate to sidetrack this, Dave. Is there some way that you can have it in your script that if you enter somebody else's StreamYard, you can disable it without having to log back in?
Have you not got the on-off button at the bottom?
Yeah, but it doesn't show up if you're in somebody else's stream.
I will say to you, Chris,
No.
the Gems are not
My bad.
lefties, all right? Just trust me on this one.
Sorry.
Yeah, so that's incredible. It does not surprise me that he's a politician, ex-politician. Okay, the recipient does not need to have explicitly stated that the behavior was unwanted for it to be considered harassment. In addition to dealing with harassment quickly and decisively, organisers will provide full cooperation and assistance to members by helping them to contact security and/or the police, providing escorts or otherwise helping those experiencing harassment to feel safe for the duration of the convention. We take such issues seriously. So the entire policy has been completely overwritten, not just by Lance, but by the conversation that he had with me as well.
And with Shannon, because he did the same thing to Shannon. So
yeah, he did exactly the same thing.
But by his own actions, he shouldn't be allowed to his own conference.
And neither should Lance.
Oh, Lance definitely shouldn't be allowed.
Well, I mean, just what he said to David Worley should be by that own policy. He should not be allowed in.
Well, exactly, and you don't need a conviction to that because it was in his own freaking words, and it's on YouTube. It's on there's multiple copies of him saying that should be enough to ban him.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I'm probably going to have to draw this to a close in a minute because it's over 2 hours. I'm being conscious that it's also probably quite late for you guys down under. So
it is getting
not
there.
for me, but yeah.
I've got two things that I said that I have to clip. Okay, 5905.
5905. Okay.
So you can just maybe go to 59 flat if you could, just in case. But there are a couple of things that
behavior.
Fortunately, the law doesn't deal with metaphor.
No,
yeah.
The law doesn't mean. Okay, metaphorically. How about literally? As soon as he became.
Sorry.
I'm really impressed.
What's happened there?
To get a couple
an Iron Raw video for some reason.
9 o'clock in the morning.
So that was one. That was one clip. That was just like. The Lord
wants to come back in and shout at us.
A representative.
Got your
Chris
video.
wants to come back in and shout at us.
Sorry.
Chris wants to come back in and shout at us.
You can drop me out for now. That's okay.
Okay.
Drop me.
I can't see Chris in the call right now, so if he's got the link, so.
Okay. Well, when he drops in, I'm fine with you dropping me out. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also the other clip that I'm like, you absolutely have to clip this. Where is it? I just saw it. Okay.
Well, you're going to end up, aren't you, Jeff, after this? So what I might do is I might say, thanks for having me on, and enjoy the rest of the discussion, everybody. I'll drop out so you can get Chris in when he comes.
Okay, well, thanks for coming in, Jem. Always a pleasure.
No worries. I'll talk to you later, Amanda and Ozzy. Wrong way pointing. And Dave, because I want to talk to you as well, Dave. So I've got all these people I got to talk to.
Okay.
I'll see you guys later. Bye.
See you later, Jem.
Drop me down.
Okay, the other one. Sorry, the other one that was like, it was 1:11:59. So maybe go 1:11:55.
Okay, 1:11. Oh.
As a completely off-topic issue, Chris, do you not think it's insensitive to be wearing that at the moment?
Why's that?
Now that the entire Premier League is abandoned.
Oh, I'm not wearing one of those silly shirts. Premier. Oh, hang on. If I was wearing red and white, you would be accusing me of being a Sunderland supporter. I'm a Newcastle supporter for a start. No, this is the NRL, mate. West Mighty Dragon. Although they lost.
Well, okay, I've got this bit. I think about here.
It wasn't because I don't consider it to be important. It was because it takes time.
It takes time, but why didn't you finalize that before you put it onto the website?
And I've had it agreed as an exemplary example
yes, but that was after the
anti-harassment policy by a company.
So that
oh boy.
isn't important. It's just like, Jesus Christ, man. Could you get any more condescending?
No, we tried. Chris, you popped back in, mate. Did you?
Yep. I found something. I'm just double checking it quickly as we speak. I'm just going to share this, and I'll let you guys determine if it's. I think we're. Oh. Yeah, the area's right. All right.
Okay.
So I'm just sharing a screen. Does that look like our mate after a big night out?
Whoa!
I can't see it because I.
Mate.
Here's the headline.
Oh shit! Who is it?
John Richards.
John Richards.
Drunken rampage of bar.
Smashing.
He's had a bit of a big night there, old Johnny boy.
Oh wow! Oh,
criminal conviction not going to be allowed in.
Is that him?
When was it?
That's what I'm trying to work out. I had a look at a picture side by side, and it looks like him if he was absolutely munted after a big night.
When was it?
The name's right. The age would be about right. The location's right. He's a business person in that area.
Is this why he keeps saying sexual convictions? Rather
Maybe.
than
Maybe very. Wow.
Fucking hell.
When was this? How long ago was this?
2012.
2012.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to suss out if it's the same, because that's Sussex is where he was a politician, which this is actually on his profile page on Atheist International.
Jesus.
Well, the new address, the address they're using now is West Sussex.
Yeah.
Chris, you are a friggin' wow. You are amazing.
This makes a lot more sense now for him to.
You dropped some bombshells on this stream today, I think.
Remind me not to piss you off, Chris.
No one can research like a historian.
That is true.
We can dig.
Make sure you drop that in the chat with me and Ocean.
Well, that's why he was so very touchy about.
I'm doing it as we speak.
Just any kind of.
Wow.
Conviction. Yeah. If they're not convicted. Oh my gosh! Can you find out what happened to his wife?
Any accusation whatsoever.
The one that died.
That might be a stretch. That might be a stretch.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it might be.
That might be because I mean, keep in mind he was in politics up until where are we? I closed that page down. Yeah, when I was digging through, he was in politics up until it looks like about 2000, and I think it was the late 2000s. He definitely ran a few times for the Lib Dems in the early and mid 2000s. Yeah, so that explains, because when he was doing the,
I'd be interested. I wonder if he's a member of that party.
So when he was doing that complain.
That's a standard kind of thing that they teach you in politics, where you basically you just, when they're trying to push a point, you just talk over them and you do it. It's a real arrogant thing. It's only really dickheads who do it, but it's a very adversarial. It's right up his alley.
Yeah, because actually something interesting. I have got a comment on the video, and I really actually, I'm going to bring this up. I wish I could share my screen with you, but I can't at the moment.
Is that that woman one? Because
Yeah.
I thought that was classic. Like,
That woman acted like the Spanish Inquisition.
Oh, the Spanish.
Yeah, the Spanish Inquisition.
Next you, that's why.
And someone responded, rightly so. I'm just going to call the person's name. So Peter Nicholson says that woman acted like the Spanish Inquisition. Nicholas Cruz replied, rightly so. And Peter replied, I disagree. And I replied, how? Did I torture him? I just asked some questions. And Peter said, Spanish Inquisition guy goes, in my opinion, that was an interrogation, not a civil conversation. You are free to disagree. And I replied, actually, I would agree with you. I asked some extremely important questions regarding the safety of people attending the conference. If he had answered the questions appropriately, it would have stayed a friendly conversation. Instead, he dodged the questions, started yelling at me, became incredibly condescending, so I just asked the question again. If you ask someone a question and they don't answer it, is it really unreasonable to ask them that again? Skipping down a few people, somebody just popped their head in. They went, well, we're never going to disagree, and here's my last word. If you had employed that badgering, hectoring style on me, I would have reacted negatively. Sorry. So it's really interesting. Either that person has got that attitude of, if a woman if a woman is like a strong person, therefore she's an evil bitch. Because I don't think I might be calling the misogyny card too quickly, but it just that if someone else if a male had that conversation with him, I don't think I would have been. They would have got that point. I don't think that person.
A couple of things. First of all, you are an evil bitch, but you're our evil bitch, and that's okay. So there's no problem with that.
You do, Anna.
I'm way eviler.
You're the evilest of all, Amanda, but I didn't want to, take Mary's spotlight off her.
Nervardia is evil of all. She's got the horns. Amanda's a cuddlebug.
Okay.
But, I mean, the fact that this person started with that woman, he's come to your page and refers to you as that woman. Now, why has he come to your page? I mean, if he's on your page and he's someone who follows your page, he's going to refer to you as Nervardia, Mero, or good Australian, maybe Mero Magdalene, depending on which video he saw. He's obviously come there from somewhere else, and he's referring to you as that woman. So clearly, this is a ring-in. The evidence would probably point towards that, but the attitude that this person's displayed is absolutely that is misogynistic. I think John's just a tosser. He probably does have a little bit of misogyny, but I think he would act that way. And if I get to talk to him, it'll be interesting to see if he does the same thing. But that Peter Nicholson absolutely is misogynist in his comment.
Okay, yeah, because I just kind of got that. I got that because, to be honest with you, I was really fucking pleasant.
I don't know how.
You were way more pleasant than you deserve.
How did you do that?
You were, but there was some bite to it too. You have to admit.
Oh yeah, there was definitely
deservedly so, no doubt. But yeah, would you do an interview with them, Chris?
Yeah, I'll do it. Absolutely.
Yeah,
no problems.
I
No
think,
problems.
Chris, I think you would be fan-fucking-tastic with him because
it'd be good.
You've been a politician. You've done history. You've also found the smoking gun with Lance. You've also found the fact that he got arrested for being a drunk guy. You can just go.
I wouldn't want Chris to bring that up, though.
Yeah.
Have somebody else, like somebody in chat or something, bring it up. Chris, you stay on his side. Yeah, have Oz do it.
Keep in mind, this is a live broadcast right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not going to research it. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, no, of course not.
I would be highly surprised if he even knows that Not Joe and I are together. And he just spent
Not Joe and you are together.
Yeah, that's how I ended up eating the cheesecake.
Can't tell about me.
You see liberated it.
What was that? Sorry.
You didn't steal the cheesecake. You merely liberated it.
Exactly.
But
For a good cause, my man. For a good cause.
It is we're closing in on 2.5 hours now. I'm probably going to start bringing things in. What
you did say that an hour ago.
Yeah, I know, but what I might do is go around the room for some closing thoughts from each of you. I'll start with Amanda, if you'd like to go first.
I saw it right off the bat that he was, he wasn't treating her anyway, but like a little woman. He just saw her as this weak little woman, and that really, really rubbed me the wrong way. So that was just what I gathered from it.
Osman, closing thoughts from yourself?
Closing thoughts. At this stage, I have none. I'm rather ill-informed on the matter. I am going to be doing a week-long study of this and anything else that pops up in regards to this, including this video. And I'm going to be, I have requested people to individually interview so I can get their full opinion on the matter. So that's what I'm going to be doing.
Okay.
Also, when everyone's done, I want to show something that is completely off topic, but is fucked up.
Okay. Chris, closing thoughts from yourself?
Look, it's pretty simple. My 6-year-old has a saying whenever someone gets caught out lying, and that's busted. And I think old Johnny boy has been busted. So I look forward to and look, I've just done a bit of digging quickly. If that's what I can turn up in a short period of time, I'll find more. So there's just too many things linking a lot of these people who have been accused of certain things, like even Silverman heading up the organisation that John's involved with. Well, not anymore, but they obviously they bought him over after he got fired from American Atheist, knowing the accusations that were there. It talks to the culture and it talks to the attitude of him, I think. But I look forward to maybe having a chat to him and digging up a little bit more. And we don't need people like that in the atheist community.
No, not at all. Critical Dave. Final thoughts here.
He's an arse and he's a misogynist, and his conference needs to die. And he is continuing to lie. It's really annoying me.
Okay. Well, and before I do my sum up, Nervardia, you had to endure talking to him for well over an hour.
That it was interesting. I have to admit there was a part of me that enjoyed it because I got under his skin. But I don't know now if that's an act or if that was actually me genuinely getting under his skin. But I did. I love the fact that he got showed up 3 times in a row by women, all telling him to fuck off. And he's pathetic. He truly is a pathetic man. I don't have any hatred towards him, but I just have no respect. Does that make any sense? I don't hate him. I look at him and I just think, you're nothing. You've got no class. You were beaten to a pulp by a person who's never interviewed a person before in their life. I have had no experience with that at all, and I still beat the shit out of you. You just don't deserve to just continue on this. It's just, yeah, you're nothing. Not nothing, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, you know, that was me. That's me.
Yeah. Okay, some closing thoughts from myself on this. I said right back at this whole beginning of this thing, when this thing with Lance, that I wasn't initially of the opinion that I want to see their event die or anything like that. I wanted them to engage and listen to what the community was saying, especially after Lance's performance on Dave's channel. I suppose they have engaged with the community, but they just don't fucking get it. It's been very clear to me as well that John is not being honest. He's clearly, you know, in fact, he's not forthcoming about what Lance's role in this still is. It's just disgusting to me. Thing is, this community, atheist skeptic community or whatever, bullshitters ain't going to fly too far in this community, John. You're about to find that out. You're about to find that out big time, because I don't think anyone who's seen any of the stuff that goes around, and word of this will get round, is going to go to your event or is going to go to anything you put on again, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I definitely would say to anyone who's been nominated for an award at that thing, maybe telling John where to go on that as well. So that's just kind of my thoughts on that, and basically, fuck that guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well said, Jeff. Well said.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks all you guys for coming on, and everyone else who popped in. Jen, who else popped in? Dave popped in for a bit. Notcha. Everyone in the chat. It's been Jeff, Godless Scummer. I shall be signing off now because I'm going to try and get to the pub sometime this afternoon. Okay. See you later.
Oh.
Bye.
See you.
Bye.